Hello, sexy souls. Welcome back to the Vortex Experience. I'm so excited. Hello, I'm your host, Claudia Compton, like the place in America. Today, we're going to be talking about some psychic experiences because honestly, I fucking love talking about it. And I know if you're listening, you're probably interested in the world of the quote unquote unseen. Maybe you're interested in spirituality. And the best thing I like to do when I'm interested in a subject or topic, I like to listen to people's stories to then see like how that's going to translate into my life, if that's going to translate into my life, or how it's going to move into my life. Okay. So, and I love stories. Okay. I love stories. So there will be like teach pieces in this. So there will be like little tips around how to see like when spirit's talking to you, how to know when there's signs around, like all of that is going to be at the end. I want to give you some like hot, sexy stories that were fucking life-changing in my psychic development journey, because I wasn't actually born with my gifts online. I believe that we're all born psychic, and I believe that we all have gifts within us. And though I wasn't born seeing people at the end of my bed, even though I had someone in my fucking wardrobe when I was like 11 years old, and it was scary. Anyways, so I wanted to do a channeled message today like I do every episode. And today's channel message is yes. Full stop. That's the message. So if you're wanting to be, if you're wanting to move to a different state, if you're wanting to show up in a different way, if you're wanting to chuck out those clothes, if you're wanting to start a business, if you want, like, yes, you need to live from the fuck yes alignment. I'm going to coin that phrase, fuck yes alignment. And what that means is, and what they're showing me, what my guides are showing me is like, sometimes life can feel like, and take what resonates. If it doesn't resonate, then don't worry about it. Just skip on. I feel like some people that are listening feel potentially a bit off kilter and a little bit, out of alignment, like not straight up. They're a little bit off the side. So what I want you to do is like right now with me, whether you're walking or driving, you can do it, is take a deep breath in. I want you to imagine yourself wherever you are. I want you to come back into alignment. Yup. I want you to tune into a fuck yes in your body, because what they're telling me very, very intensely is like, potentially there's been so many things that have kept you out of quote unquote alignment. Even though that's a story for another day, that's another conversation, but let's just use that language for today. I feel like when we come back into that center and that groundedness within ourselves, and we know who we are from an internal perspective, we're then able to unlock and access our fuck yes. And it's exactly what they're sharing with me today, is that you get to do more fuck yes things, and work on any, people-pleasing tendencies, self-sabotage, working on any of that kind of thing. And I've done podcasts around people-pleasing. If there's anything that you actually want to know about more so, feel free to message me on Instagram. I'm always happy to do, tailored podcasts around things that you're currently navigating, because I'm sure if you're experiencing something, someone else has experienced something very similar as a collective. So what I want you to do is take a deep breath in and imagine yourself to come back into alignment, which is just like a pole going through your body, like a stern concreted pole. And I want you to tune into your fuck yes. Maybe it's a sensation, maybe it's a flutter, maybe it's a opening, maybe it's just like an activation or a kind of like a pressure in your body. I want you to tune into your fuck yes, because that is something that's going to help you a lot moving forward, specifically on this next chapter, because like regardless of where you are in your journey right now, like you're on the edge, like you're on the edge of something. So if you can tune into your fuck yes, it'll actually guide you to that edge to allow yourself to move on into the journey that you want to be on. So that is a channel message today. I know that's a little bit of a spicy, sexy one, but that's what we're here for, sexy souls, all right? So today we're going to speak into how to know spirits are around. But first of all, I want to speak into a few different stories, okay? So I remember when I was in my old house with a former partner, there was a dog that lived there, Pepper. I love that dog. I fucking love that dog. And we were in the suburbs, and it was really raining, and this particular place was amazing. I love this beautiful house. And though there was a lot of like activity in there, and now my gifts and abilities and my psychic my mediumship has already been on for a few years before, like maybe 2 or 3 years before that. But really intentionally about a year. And I knew I could feel this energy in my room, and I was like, what the fuck? There's this energy in my room. And the dog would sit there and look at like out the window. And I'm like, Pepper, what's going on? Anyways, turned out that there was actually 2 little girls that were trapped in the middle, and they were actually wanting to be passed over. So there's stories like that I have. And then there's also other stories where I was in my bed when I was like maybe 11 or 12, and I would hear this flick, 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 flick on and off. And literally one day the fucking light turned on, and I have never been more scared in my life. It was so fucking scary. And I needed to sleep at the end of my mum and dad's bed for like a solid 6 months, just because like I was scared as fuck and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And anyway, so when I was in the room, pretty much what happened was I would literally sit there and I would hear these flicks, 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 flicks. And I just thought it was maybe my mum and dad told me maybe it was the pool, like, because there was a pool filter and stuff like that on the neighbor's side. So I thought maybe it's a pool filter, fuck knows. So anyways, I just sort of ran with that story, but I knew something was happening inside that cupboard. Anyways, my mum has been very open. She's not like, she never taught me any kind of this psychic medium stuff, but she knew about psychics, and I was always interested in that kind of thing anyway. Little Claudia didn't even know that she was going to be tapped in and doing this for a mission, doll. Absolutely. Keep an eye on what your inner child loves. That is the fucking key here, people. So when we had this psychic come through, I'm pretty sure it was, I don't know, it was probably like 2 years after. My mum actually ended up asking me, because we were going on a big trip around Australia, and I was in all sorts. I was so stressed out. One day I even sat down on my bed and I was like, I need to just talk to this thing, because like I don't know what this thing is and it's scaring me. I can't go to sleep. I had to literally sleep with earphones in, with music on, because I would hear it flick, 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 flick. So scary. And at the time, like, obviously my mum didn't know what to do, so she got this psychic person in a few years later before we went on a trip. And yeah, the psychic said there was a spirit that followed me home and was just trying to play with me. Me being a fucking 10-year-old trying to figure that and conceptualize, I had no idea. And I feel like that's also why my gifts were potentially delayed, because I was almost scared. And that's what I see a lot of people can like tap into it, or they've had, you know, experiences when they were younger, but then they shut themselves off to it because they actually don't know how to deal with it, or it actually imprinted as a trauma. So their unconscious mind doesn't feel safe to open up. So one time I was actually sitting on the end of my bed, and I shit you not, I was like, hey spirit, like I don't know what you're doing here, but like I really want to get some sleep. You know, I'm in year 6. I need to focus on my grades. And then I swear to fuck, I seen like an indent in the doona cover. And I was just like sat there and I was like, oh my God, did that just happen? I thought I was skits. I was like, no one's going to believe me. So I never told anyone. But I want you to know that with these tools and resources that I'm going to give you today, there's going to be different strands of it, okay? And I'm happy to do a part 2 if you want to learn any more, because I love this stuff. So they're the kind of like micro experiences. There's been times where, you know, I've been in psychic readings and people from other past loved ones that have come through, or housemates passed over loved ones, or whatever. Like, spirit is so interesting, and I always see the lens of spirit as they're trying to give us a message for our highest good, and I always set the intention with that. If I feel like there's any funky frequency or any like how you going energy, I always say, are you here for the highest good, and do you love me unconditionally? When I started to do that this kind of work and getting deeper in it, I needed to say that so freaking much, because my human brain couldn't conceptualize what the frick was happening, and I was freaking out. So I would always say, are you here for the highest good, and do you love me unconditionally? That would always make me feel so much better and put me at somewhat of an ease, because my brain would be like, I can't see this thing and this is scary. Like, because all of the programming that we go through as kids with scary movies, like I never liked scary movies. I don't want to be fucked up on adrenaline trying to relax and eat, you know, some popcorn. Like, that's just not me. I've never liked scary movies, I think, because I have always felt kind of things around me. So before I proceed, I want to speak about the clairs. So we have 5 different clairs. They're pretty much 5 different senses that the spiritual realm or the psychic realm, what do you want to call it, they connect us through. So they connect us through our hearing, which is clairaudient, claircognizant, which is our knowing, clairsentient, which is our feeling, clairvoyant, which is our seeing, and clairagustus, which is like our smelling and our taste. Like I literally, when I do psychic readings, I can sometimes taste if they're a smoker, if it's important for their message. So yeah, it's really interesting because your spirit guides guided you to this podcast. Absolutely. And there's a reason why you're feeling the way you are around certain things. So for example, when I started learning more about spirit guides, I could hear all these voices that weren't mine, but they were. It was strange. And I could feel these things down the back of my neck. So spirit will connect with you how you will personally and uniquely connect with spirit. So I don't necessarily see spirits all the time. I can see energies and I can imagine through my third eye, but I don't see it as like a physical thing. So I just wanted to preface that as well. If you're seeing signs, synchronicities, whether it be triple numbers, feathers, you talk about someone and they call you, or you think about someone and they message you, these are signs that you're either raising your frequency, that your spirit guides are wanting to tell you something, or that you're connecting into some kind of like psychic energy around you that is going to help you move forward. So I would always say follow the synchronicities and follow the signs. I literally did a story about this on my Instagram yesterday around how The Power of Now came into my reality, the book by Eckhart Tolle, and how that completely shift my entire experience from this one book. And the synchronicities was like everyone was talking about The Power of Now. That was a synchronicity for me. Or I would turn around and I'd go past QBD and the book of The Power of Now was there. It was always under my nose, but it wasn't until my former friend Nick put it down next to me at a table, who was a random at the time. I didn't even know him, as a stranger. And then we started talking about this book, and then he introduced me to my first mentor, and then that mentor allowed me to change my life through NLP. And then I did my certifications, then I moved, and then I did more certifications for NLP, and then I met my mentor, and then all my psychic stuff came online, and I grew my business. Like from that one experience, the synchronicities, the serendipitous experiences from that particular experience are so amazing. So that's why I want you to look at what signs are coming up. It could be a podcast. It could be someone messaging you. It could be a brand coming to mind. It could be books. It could be numbers. Whatever it is, I want you to look at what it actually means for you, because you can look at the spiritual meaning, like the spiritual meaning of 444. And I know I'm going through this really fast, but like I just want to get it done because like there's a lot there that I want to share. So like the spiritual meaning of 444. So you can look up what that means. You can look up what a fox means. You can look up what a panther means. Like look up what your dreams are trying to tell you. The dream state is a really, really cool, important state because your brain waves are actually in a different frequency when you're more relaxed and kind of like tranced. So when you're able to access parts of yourself through the higher spiritual realms, through the dream state, you're actually able to then, take that information and bring it into your life in this now reality. So if you have any thoughts around people, if you have any intrinsic kind of intuitive nudge, follow that nudge. That is one of the best things you can do, because if you don't follow that nudge, there's something that your spirit, your angels or guides are trying to share with you. If you walk into a room and it feels off, I want you to just simply put a golden triangle around you. Just set the intention to be protected through all timelines and dimensions. Now, I don't usually protect myself all the time just because I'm so connected to my spiritual team. But if you are like new to this journey, I would definitely recommend you looking into that. So just seeing like a golden triangle around you, and like you can spin it in your mind, and just I want you to know that there's no fucking weird things around. Like there is nothing weird about this. Like if you're watching this, there's a part of you that's like, this makes sense to me. But I want you to know that, it can feel weird to your human. So just ask yourself, like, what does your human need right now to feel more safe, to actually connect into this deeper? Because your future self, your higher self, or whatever you want to call it, is actually guiding you along this path for you to evolve in this way. Okay. So that is something. So if you walk into a room and you feel the energy that's off and you're like, this doesn't feel good, just put a golden triangle around you. And I set the intention to be protected through all timelines and dimensions. And then you can Talk to your spirit team. Like, again, this might feel weird when you first do it, but I want you just to talk out loud as if it was a friend. The more that you talk to your spirit guides, the more that you actually get information from your spirit guides for then you to able to like have that into your life. So you can say, hey, spirit guides, what's going here? And like, you can shift the energy, like you can move the energy. You don't need to be quote unquote activated, or you don't need to be like, you already know what to do. We're just remembering the steps of you forgetting, you knowing how to do that. It's like a process of remembering what you knew innately, okay? Because experiences come up for you because you know how to move through them. It's literally character building. So when I was, sitting on my bed as a fucking 10-year-old and I seen the hand imprinted down, I freaked out, but I didn't know, I was like, cool, sweet, no worries, like it's all good. And then I was able to shift through it. And now I'm like, cool, spirit was literally trying to talk to me from a young age because I had messages for me. Okay. So if you're having any conversations, any synchronistic experiences, know that spirit is actually trying to talk to you. Spirit will talk to you through the experience of life. If you want to go to that park, go to that park. If you want to go to a shopping center, go to that shopping center. The more that you can collapse the time space, the more that you can collapse, let me say it in a different way, the more that you can collapse that time and actually action the things that the universe is trying to speak to you with, the more that you're going to be able to have that realization or that download or that awareness or that connection or whatever it is. Follow the breadcrumbs. If people say you should work with this mentor, work with them. Like, obviously make sure it's in alignment, but work with them. Learn more about it. The more that you are open and ready to receive, the more psychic experiences, more intuitive you'll become, and the more connected you will be. So that is a nutshell all in together. So that is it. I'll speak to you next week for more psychic experiences. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. And if you're interested and you're on the Gold Coast, I have a psychic mediumship event at the end of this month on the 29th. All the information will be in the show notes. I'll see you then, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.